So can we just talk about how amazing this past weekend was at the WonderHere Childhood Conference in Lakeland? Oh my gosh, like my cup was filled, like full on, hands down, awesome. It was actually technically the very first like parent homeschool type conference I've ever been to, but it did not disappoint. So anything after this, you got a high bar that's been set for you. So Damien and I took the drive over to Lakeland this past weekend to go to the conference, and to be quite honest, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't quite sure what the conference was about. I knew it was for parents. It wasn't necessarily for homeschooling parents or directly just at homeschooling parents. It was for parents. Damien, on the other hand, had no idea. He actually decided to go Friday morning, and it was Friday evening that the first day of the conference started. So he really had no idea what was going on, and we were not disappointed. It was amazing. Conference was held at the 10-acre farmhouse school property of WonderHere. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking. It was peaceful. It was inspiring. It was all the things you would want for a school if you were sending your child to a school. I will have more information in the description down below if you want to find out more about WonderHere and also how you can help them move from their downtown location and fully start teaching in the school at the farmhouse. For me, this weekend was nothing but confirmation. It was confirmation in what I had already kind of thought about as far as like the way I want to start moving our homeschool. It was confirmation in the way I have already wanted to start just molding our lives. And it wasn't new information necessarily, but it was information that I needed to hear. It was what I needed to hear to just feel refreshed, to feel encouraged, to feel empowered, and feel like I'm not alone. So on day one, our speakers were Tanya Samuels and Ben and Ainsley Armette. Yes, Miss Wild and Free herself was there. If you are new to homeschooling, if you are a homeschooler, then you know the Wild and Free book. That is like one of the staples for, I feel like when you become a homeschooler to read this book. And when I read the book, it totally changed my outlook on how I wanted to homeschool. We all know my story. My very first year, we just did Florida virtual school, online schooling. It did not work for us. And the more I learned about homeschooling, the more I read books like Wild and Free, it really helped me see how I could transition the vision of what I had for homeschooling and how I could incorporate that into our homeschool. I got my notes here. Your girl was taking notes. The main takeaway from Tanya Samuels, she is a therapist. She's a LMFT, licensed medical family therapist. Hopefully I got that right. But her main thing was self-care, taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Pour into yourself so that your glass is not empty, your pitcher is not empty, so that you can fill up the cup of your children. So that is something I struggle with taking some self-care time. I know by the end of the night, I am like high end and I'm super stressed. And, they just want an extra story, but I'm just like, I just need you to go to sleep. And so I know I need that self-care so that at the end of the day, within those moments, that I am full, I am refreshed, I am revived. And so that I can give that energy still to my children without, feeling resentful or responding in anger or responding in frustration because I am frustrated. Self-care is so, so important, and we are going to work on that. So let's make a promise with one another. I'm going to work on some self-care, and I want to see that you're working on some self-care stuff as well. Back to the notes. For Ainsley and Ben, like what they talked about was creating a family culture, creating a culture for your family. Like if you have Friday night game nights, you will not make any other appointments on those days. That's exactly what it is. Nothing changes. If you eat dinner every evening at 5:30, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No appointments, no calls, no nothing. Like this is what it's going to be. If you do a Tuesday evening bike ride, like that is your family culture. If you want your family culture to be one of, we're a sports family, this is what our family does, then that's what you do. Our oven timer's going off because my husband's in there cooking. Also, take time to adventure together. Take time to do things together as a family. And this was actually one common thread that a lot of the speakers spoke about. And it is finding something that your child is interested in and jumping in that with them. It may seem completely crazy to you. You may have absolutely no clue, but taking that time to adventure together. And even if it's something that even if it's not just something that your child is into, but maybe you guys are a bike riding family and that's your adventures. You guys go on different bikes, or you like to hike. So you find different places to go out and hike and explore. Then that is your way of adventuring together with your family. Carlos Whitaker was the first speaker for day 2, and I had never heard of him before. I didn't follow him on the socials, but I do now because I really enjoyed just kind of hearing him speak and hearing his thoughts on things. So his whole thing was all about hope, how you can create hope, how you can receive hope, and how you can rescue hope. Like sometimes when we live in this mindset of negative thinking and how these negative things can kind of like build away at us, and we have created these lies that we're kind of built into, right? If you start thinking a certain way about yourself, then that's what you're going to think. I wrote this down and I'm going to read it because I probably messed it up, but he was talking about you got to kill the spider, right? There is no just cleaning out the cobwebs. You got to clean the spider because the spider is the agreement with the lie. And the cobwebs, they're medicating behavior that brings comfort to the lie. So just because you get rid of the cobwebs, that spider is just going to keep building those cobwebs over and over. But you got to kill the spider in order to get out of that negative space. You got to kill the spider in order to start creating hope and to see a brighter future. So that got me right there. Like that was that. All right. So one common thread throughout the whole weekend was just about slowing down, taking time with your children, taking time to enjoy and embrace childhood. The last speaker of the day, Yvette Henry, she talked about that adulthood is the opposite of childhood, right? Adulthood is the antonym to childhood. And when you talk about childhood, or when children even think of childhood, they think of fun and freedom and light and exploring and just all the positive, all the fun. And then when you think about adulthood, it's stress and boring and responsibility and angry and busy. And no child wants that, right? Because we as adults, we are the examples of what adulthood would be like for our children. And if our children are like, I can only have fun as a child, and when I become an adult, it's all gone. Like, why would they want to be an adult? Why would they want to grow up? I don't want to be an adult if that's what it's going to be like. She kind of talked about how we can embrace childhood even in our adulthood. We can show our children that it does not all stop at the age of 18 and that you have to straighten up, put your suit and tie on and no longer have fun. You can still rollerblade and skateboard and trampoline jump and do all the fun things you did as a kid. You can still do those as an adult. And the only way to show your kids that you can still do it is to do it. Slow down, take the time to do things with your kids. Like I mentioned before, some of the other speakers spoke about it, time to do things that your children are interested in and let them see the fun that you're having as an adult, to show them a positive, healthy way that an adult can also be responsible, be their protector, keep them secure, but can also laugh and have fun with them. That has been something that I have struggled with, because oftentimes I feel like I'm the one who has to like keep everything in schedule and keep everything like in line in school. And I'm so tired after doing all of that. I don't feel like I get to have all of the fun, right? So that is something that I'm working on. Like I said, this whole weekend was just kind of confirmation for me that like what you've been thinking about, what you've have already known that you needed to do, like this is that kick in the butt to say, girlfriend, do it, like get it done. So there's just so much. It was just so much, guys. I hope that if next year you're able to get down to Lakeland, Florida, that you are able to, because it was an amazing weekend. And let me tell you, if you guys are not following Amber, who is known as the Heritage Mom over on Instagram, then you need to. She is all about bringing diversity to homeschooling, and she has amazing resources. She has a brand new book that's coming out in a couple of weeks. I've already pre-ordered mine, and I hope that you will do the same. Brand new book is called A Place to Belong, Celebrating Diversity and Kinship in the Home and Beyond. Check it out, guys, when it comes out. Pre-order it. I know that it's going to be awesome, just from hearing her speak, just from seeing all of the great resources that she already provides, just via Instagram and her blog and her other speaking engagements that I've seen. I know it's going to be awesome. So I will have the link to that down below, and you can pre-order that as well. I'm going to see if I can get the mister to come in and just say 2 words. We'll see if he say 2 words about his experience this weekend. Let's see if I can get him. Come here. 2 seconds. 2. All right. So I got 2 minutes of his time. So 2 minutes. Tell me what you thought of the weekend.
It was pretty good. I was a little apprehensive at first because I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but I did enjoy all of the speakers. They provided really good insight into parenting, and yeah, like Caffie said, it was just an affirmation that we need to be more aware of our children, need to listen to our children more, have fun with our children, especially the part where they talked about going and doing the very things that your child likes to do. So it was funny because, when we came back, they was like, hey, Daddy, let's go do this. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's just go ahead and do it, So, but no, it was really, really, really insightful. Totally wasn't what I expected it was going to be, but I did have a good time. And so I'll probably go back next year.
Yeah, it wasn't what you expected, but it was good. Like you,
no, it's really good. Especially the people that they had to speak. They really gave some good points.
Yeah,
and it's good to hear another parent's perspective. Now these are people who are parents for what they got grown children.
Yeah,
even the last speaker. Yeah, with her 4 kids, you can still relate to all of that. So it's good that you had actual parents.
Yeah, and it was I think Carlos' kids were like 22 or something.
20,
I think
the youngest one was 16.
Yeah, so they had a good, and then I think the last speaker, hers was like 2.5. Yep. So you had from like 22 years to 2.5. And then we had one of the parent panel, she had been homeschooling for 31 years. So she had 30-some-year-old children. Because I think her daughter was 5 or something going into kindergarten. So 37 or so, age child. And she'd been homeschooling for 31 years between children and grandchildren. So it was nice to kind of hear
their
outlook on
stuff.
Those
things like that, it helps, when you actually have people who have children, know what they're talking about, going through the battles. So just to hear them bring words of encouragement. And I like their honesty as well, to say, hey, I don't know everything, but I just want to share what has been working, what insights I've gained parenting my children. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the farm was awesome. So
oh my gosh,
I want a farm.
Yeah, I want a farm too. I want to live on the farm.
I can see ourselves with 20 acres.
Right. I want like 20
out in the middle of nowhere.
Done out there. But yeah, where can we find that in Orlando? We'll see. All right, thank you for joining. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos, and I'll talk with you guys in a couple of days.